there's a great debate going on in the state of Idaho. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, how do you pronounce the name of this state's capital? Is it Boise or Boise?
Good question.
Well, this video is the story about how I tried to answer that question. Stay tuned. I first moved to the city in 1989, and ever since then I've always wondered, am I supposed to be saying Boise or Boise?
That's what you gotta figure out.
Okay, so fail, the library's still closed because of the coronavirus. I thought I'd try. Never mind, there's nothing you can't find online, right? So people are definitely interested in this question, but to be quite honest, a lot of the information that I'm looking at is just really boring. This is just not gonna cut it. I'm gonna have to do my own research to get the answer to the question.
This girl's a wonder.
The name of the city comes from the French word bois, which means forest or wood. Now, in order to understand the significance of the name, it's important to note that Boise sits on the fringe of a large desert. The entire southern third of Idaho is desert. It actually reaches down into Utah and Nevada. And just below the city is a large plain that sort of swoops down from the eastern side of the state in a big crescent over to the western part of the state and ends where the city of Boise or Boise sits, near the Snake River, right on the border with Oregon. There's actually two possible stories for where the city got its name. The first explanation is that the name was given to the area by French-Canadian fur trappers who set their traps in the area in the 1820s. Now, because the surrounding area is desert, the cottonwood trees that lined the river made the area look like an oasis. And so because of the stark contrast, they named the river La Rivière Boisée, which means the wooded river. The second explanation goes back to a story that happened here in May of 1833. There was a French-born U.S. Army captain called Benjamin Bonneville who was leading his men on a beaver fur trapping expedition. His full name in French is Benjamin Louis Eulalie de Bonneville. And they were coming through the desert here, and when they came up to this point where I'm at right now, they looked down into the valley below and they saw all of the trees down there, and they were so thrilled to see trees that they cried out, les bois, voyez les bois, which means the forest, look at the forests. Either way, the name stuck, and they ended up calling the place Fort Boise, or Fort Boise. It officially became a city in 1864, and then in 1865, it replaced Lewiston and became Idaho's state capital. If you wanted to say that the city is wooded, you would say La ville est boisée. And today, the city is still called the city of trees. So does that solve it? In French, the word is voisin. So shouldn't all of us be saying Boise? Well, if you listen to the media, you might think that that's the case.
I was recently in Boise, Idaho.
It's crowd here in Boise.
School in Boise, Idaho.
But it's actually not that simple. Do you say enchantement or enchantment? Apostrophe or apostrophe? The point is, there are many foreign words in English that we say with an English accent. On the other hand, there are also French words in English that we say with a French accent. How many of us say laissez-faire or fiancé or bon voyage? There's no hard and fast rule for how to pronounce a foreign word in English. So I think the best thing to do is to ask the locals. I'm downtown right now, and I'm going to ask the first 10 to 15 people that I see how they are pronouncing the name of the capital of Idaho.
And I've been chilling, watching it.
So do you say Boise or Boise?
Boise, Idaho.
Boise.
Boise.
And if somebody says Boise, do you feel like they're not from here?
Absolutely.
It depends on the conversation. It goes back and forth.
So you can do both.
Yeah.
Boise.
You feel like they're foreigners if they say it? Boise?
Yeah, not too bright.
Okay.
Boise.
There? Boise or Boise? Alright, thanks.
I say Boise.
And if somebody says Boise, do you feel like they're not from around here?
No, I think they might just say it different than I do.
It can go both ways?
Go both ways. I say Boise.
I say Boise.
Is it Boise or Boise?
Boise.
And if somebody says Boise, do you feel like they're not from around here?
Yes.
I say Boise.
Boise or Boise?
Boise.
If somebody says Boise, are they not from here?
Correct.
So after researching the subject, studying the history, and asking people how they are pronouncing the name of this city, the conclusion that emerges is actually not that definitive. The locals, though, it seems, prefer to pronounce it Boise. And for most people, somebody who says Boise, to them that's the sign that that individual is not from here. There are some hardliners, though, that say no, it's a French word, it should be pronounced Boise. So my suggestion is that if you want to sound like a local and you want to fit in here, you should join the majority of the people and pronounce the name of the capital of the state of Idaho, Boise. Thanks for watching this video to the end. What about you? Are you a Boise hardliner, a Boise hardliner? Can you say it both ways? Does it matter? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what people are saying. And if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button and consider subscribing so you can see other videos like this that come out. I'll see you in the next one.